Hello, comrades. It's Premier River, and I have been hard at work trying to get our steel mill going. Let's shift back on the HUD here. So, what has happened since the last episode? Not a whole lot. If you remember, we got the power going. I really didn't have to change much. We still just have the two buses heading up there. We have it purchasing purchasing coal with rubles, just in case something happened. But really, I haven't seen any problems. Now, in the future, that might become more of an issue if we start using coal other places. But for now, I don't think we've purchased any power since I last left you. Let's go over to here and take a real quick look. So this year, Western Block, which was where we were buying it, power. Oh, look at that. We have just cut the power usage down. So last month, what did we buy? Well, steel for construction, bricks, and chemicals, which is, we need the chemicals to make the clothes that are making us a lot of our money, and meat and fuel and electronics. So pretty much what I would expect from our economy. If we take a look at this year, we're down minus 571,000. But not to fear, the vast majority of that is going to be for construction, because what has happened is, if we take a look at the loan, I have ended up borrowing up to $1 million. So that's why we have 235,000 right now. But we have all of the materials that we need in the steel mill. So it's just a matter of getting it built at this point, right? We need another 3,000 man hours. Our ore processing plant is completely built, which was not too cheap. And our iron mine is completely built, 99% source. So in any event, we do need to get these other things done. So what I thought I would do is let's start building some of these support buildings together, and we'll see what it takes, right? Let's do the substation and these wires first, just because, there we go, why not? And then we'll do this and this and this, and then that will send, around these trucks back out, to get all the different stuff sent there, including gravel and whatnot. Now, we've been doing really well on the gravel. I have kept 2 trucks driving back and forth to here to keep gravel in here for all the different places that we needed concrete. Now, the concrete and that is going to slow down an awful lot. So can either do one of two things. Like if you look here, here's the aggregate storage. We only have 245 tons out of 470. So we're using it. We've been steady. This is a good balance with the whatever number of trucks we have here. What is it? 1, 2. I think we had 3, right? Or do we only have 2? Let's see. We can click on here. Yeah, just 2. 2 trucks driving back and forth. I took the other one back off to haul gravel from here to here. So we'll see. So we're in pretty good shape with that. And then, so we have this assigned. Now, the other thing that I was thinking about over here is what we want to do with this in the long run. And I wanted to take a look at how much. So we could store 200 tons of steel in here and just stay at the 25%. And I think I'm fine with that, right? At least to get started. And then the other question I had was, do we want to do mechanical components over here? And I'm thinking maybe not, but not because it's not logical, but because I don't want everything in the world to be done right around here, right? My intention was just to get, the stuff we need for construction, and mechanical components are starting to get on the outskirts of that, right? What is that? Is that? Yeah, you know what? We don't have. Yeah, we haven't researched it yet either, have we? So we probably should go do that. Yeah, we seem to be doing fine. Why don't we just do it right here? So we'll get that done, and we should probably even think about researching the other one as well, right? How are we doing? I did have plus 21-year-olds. Do I have any right now? No. But so I took a bunch of people out of here and here. And look, we're just about to have plus 21-year-olds again. So it's probably as good a time as any. We'll get the one university doing doing the mechanical components, and this one can do the chemistry, so that both of those researches are out of the way. So the question is, do we do that here? And one of the reasons I wanted to ask that is, to see, I think we could put mechanical components. Yeah, I don't think we would put it up that way. Like, we could easily put a mechanical components thing here and probably even get a warehouse attached to it. But again, like I said, I don't know that I even want to do that, really. And there's we'll see. Because there's other places on the map. And at some point here, now that we have all our components, I'd like to get out and about on the map and see about, exploring and building things and getting back into doing something here. Like, we could even take, I don't necessarily, like, it feels like this is the hub of our nation, but really I just want it to be like a construction supply depot to get us started. So, I want to get back up into here. And then I'm picturing Eggenham, in this area would more be towards our, like, agricultural needs, where we have, clothing does and doesn't fit. It's, I guess, because it needs crops, and same thing with the biofuel, but this is certainly where we would make our bread and egg and ham sandwiches. So, and then if we were to take a look at the map, the other thing is, okay, let's see the iron. We have iron down over here. Let's go along, turn around, right? Let's zoom out. So if we take a look, like, right over this way, like right up this valley is a lot of iron. I don't know if you can see it on the map there, but like right along here where I'm looking at over here. And then as far as the coal goes, if we come up a little bit further, there's a good swath of coal right in this area, right? So I would like to see about getting over here, but this is going to be a little bit here. Now we can just close that. What do we have? Fire extinguished. Well, that's good. The Eggenham Cinema. That's right. I do remember that burning. So if you look, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get over into here. I think we could come in here, right? And this might be like a good place for a little manufacturing type city where we might have a port down here. And then, where was that? Okay, I think this is where like the iron or the coal was. And then, oops. Get out of the clouds. And if we come back, this is more or less where the iron was. So there's where we could have our town, and maybe we make, some different components here, or, make a little bit more steel. But at the same time, let's see. And then I really have some questions about how the ships are going to work, because one of the things I would like to do is get across to here to get into the oil, right? This is a export port that's off here. I'll open this up again. We're off to the west here. If you can see that map, I know it's awful small, but then I just want to leave it closed for a minute. We have these two islands where the oil is. See that? So like, let me shrink it back down. So that these two islands right here is where all the oil on the map is. So I'd like to get up into there and start getting an oil thing going, whether it's, I don't know that we would build on these islands, but I'm thinking that we would maybe put a city over this way that would be like the refining section and area at that point. So there you go. So there's a lot of thoughts and thinking as far as where we would go in the future. And again, some of the reason I'm saying all of that is because it's the reason I wouldn't necessarily buy or build mechanical components right here, even though you certainly could make the point that it's pretty logical to do it. So I would like to do some things that aren't strictly always 100% logical on this particular playthrough. So let's see. Okay, let's get this construction office open just so we can see what he's doing. So we're still plugging away at the steel mill, which is going to eat up like all of our manpower. Yeah, look, we're already down to 70,000. Now we are paying off the loan too, right? So yeah, we're just going to keep taking out loans until this is running. And that's pretty much the goal of this episode. We'll end when we have steel, which should be doable, right? Especially if we can start getting working on some of this stuff. What do we have? Yeah, see, these are just expensive. I mean, the actual towers themselves aren't too awful bad, but these long stretches, like that's 50 tons of steel pretty much that we need, and 10 tons of mechanical components. Then this one's going to be like the same thing, pretty long. This one's long. They're all just kind of long. So it looks like we might be taking out another loan before this is all over. And that's one of the things I wanted to do with you guys. Just be there when we get to our maximum debt so that you guys can see. Now, if there's something that's encouraging, two things really. One is when the construction slowed down, I was able to pay this off, right? So I think we're going to be fine in paying that off. And then the other positive thing is, as we build more things, we've just cut out the price of steel, which is pretty massive. And so the next things that we'll build, like say we decide on this prefab panels. I don't know if we do prefab panels, bricks, and then what else do we have? Well, cement, right? So maybe we start making our own cement. Well, all of this steel we will pay a lot less for. Remember, it's not free if we make it ourselves, but we're yanking the iron and the coal out of the ground ourselves. So it will be quite a bit cheaper, and that's a good thing. All right, so let's see if we can't assign some more. Well, yeah, now do we have all of the steel? No, we need to get more mechanical components. We got 4 flatbed trucks, so we should be doing pretty well. Yeah, we need more stuff there. Let's speed this up a bit for a minute. And then what I want to do is let's see if we can get all of these assigned. Everything else that we need to. And I think, yeah, we got the power lines should be being worked on. What's really happening too, and it's okay, if we purchase all the materials and getting sit out there, that'll be fine. It makes the buses a little bit more efficient anyway, so that you don't have a bunch of people sitting there waiting for stuff to do. And this is another real good thing when this happens, because like there's no people here, but you have everything you need, and then this excavator just gets it done. So that's kind of how it worked out. It really worked out pretty well. Building this one to the point the groundwork was done and most of the concrete was in, and then I started building this one, and then now we're still building this one. But it really worked out pretty well for the excavator to do most of the groundwork, and then you started bringing in people and cranes and whatnot. So we've been pretty good, So let's see, like there, for example. Now we can bring up those components, and once we're ready, once we actually bring people there, we'll have all the stuff to sort of maximize out the labor. All right, so let's build this one and this one, and that one goes right into the back of the ore processing. So that will be the iron ore assigned, and then here will be the iron coming out of there. Now, I'm not putting in a storage because I'm counting on the fact that we have 100% good iron here, and the fact that we're going to be going to the same basic stop in the long run means if I ever drop people off that are going to go to here, they're going to go to here as well, right? So we should always have at least these two done, and then we have like 100% up here, and keep in mind that same train should come by and drop people off. So we should, rather than worrying about having a good storage system, I'm going to worry about having good employees that are always there building us the stuff, right? So, and another question I got, which is an excellent one, is are we going to do electric or just regular tracks with diesel trains? Boy, I really want to do electric trains. Electric from the get-go is awful expensive, though, and we're nowhere near making electrical components. If we come into here, now, by the way, you don't need 10 tons of electrical components. So part of me just would rather almost hold off on using trains too much and than not building the electrical track. Like, I'd rather just build the electrical track, especially in the tight spaces that'll be hard to replace it. So if we come here, no, we didn't want to go there. We want to go here. Current prices. Electrical components, 3,300. Well, so sorry, 3,737 to purchase them, rubles. Even the mechanical components that I consider steep are 1,800 and steel is 1,440. So, yeah. Yeah, those electrical components. Now, the only thing to say is that you don't need 10 tons of them. Does it tell you? Yeah, like if we were to, let me just draw out a section, right? You know, if I drew out a section, it's only like 1.1 electrical components for that whole length there, right? So, but again, you start doing a whole lot. That's, I mean, that's $3,000, $4,000 just for the electrical components there, which is fine. And let's, so that doesn't build. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely would like to get electrical track in here. Now, I will lay it as regular track anyway, but I wouldn't start it at least until the prefab panels are done, right? Because prefabs plus steel is a really big chunk of everything that we need to start laying these tracks. And then same thing with building a lot of buildings, but we can get into the bricks, right? And then we'll have the cement. So do we build the cement and then the prefabs? And then once this is all going locally, the question is, do we really need the trains at this point, or can we just start trucking things up to some kind of depot over here maybe? So that's definitely what I'm considering doing. Like, I'm thinking of having maybe a depot over here, like on the other side of the river, so that, or not on the other side, on this side of the river, where we might even have like a dock here or something where we could then transport more of those kind of things by ship. Now, I've never used the ship, so I don't really know, you know, how well it would work out to use it as part of the construction supply. So I'm going to be investigating that, and we're going to be fuddling along. So your comments, for those of you who've used the ships much, would definitely be appreciated. Now, and by the way, as we get this built and going, and we want to get this more stabilized, I would definitely consider moving people here with the rail cars. It's certainly, I'm not the rail cars, the cableway cars, like the, whatever you call them, gondolas. I mean, we don't need people up there. We need people here. I don't know. Like, it's sort of one of the thoughts I had was, do we put a station here and just put one up to there to see how it works? When I tried to use it during a live stream, it didn't really go that well, to be honest with you. Oh, we got no money. Shoot, pause. Did we not pay the loan for a while? Yeah, 26,000. So I just wanted to keep that in mind as we go back. All right, so we're going to borrow. I think we should we could always pay this back a little quicker if we have to, right? So $1.2 million. Borrow money. Right, and then I want you to repay this. But then what they're going to do is take the rest back, so this isn't as much as we think. Right, return money, and then we have 277. I think that's going to be enough. We're pretty close to get the rest of it done, right? So very quickly, if we come back into the loan thing, they're going to take off that last 26,000 somewhere pretty darn soon. There it goes. Did you see it just disappear? I did. Right. Loan one. Yeah, I don't know why they do that sometimes. But there we go. So now if you look here at how much was paid, we only paid $1,700 in interest for having that money. You can't really tell until you pay it off, but you know, so it's very affordable in some ways to do this, as long as you don't take out like 6 loans at a time or something, because then it would cost you like 6 times as much, right? Depending on how you do it. So we're definitely cutting through some money, that's for sure. All right, so yeah, we're down to that much already, and if you come over here and look, it's just they're all flocking in there, and this is sort of what I've been doing. Now they'll get to the point, because we just assigned all of these conveyors, right? So it's a little bit scary for a few minutes. Now when you're doing a bigger construction, I think it's a little bit less scary because you can watch. It's a little harder to say, okay, do we have everything at all of these? See, look, 39 steel already on the job, and you can just watch them. The 4 trucks do a great job of getting that stuff out there quickly, right? And our little fuel depot here takes quite a bit of fuel. A lot of trucks stopping in here all the time. Right, but I think, like I said, I think we're going to be in good shape. It's a little hard to tell. But these will get done. So let me, just for the sake of the time of the video, I'd rather spend a little bit of time when it's over watching this stuff run and getting the buses set up and all that, and still want to keep the episodes around the neighborhood of a half hour. So I'll just, not really do much at all more. Just make sure this stuff all gets completed. Oh, building is on fire. Let's go. Oh, but you know what? Now that I think about it, I did get... Yeah, so we should be fine because I think we have a thing here. I did get a suggestion to put another truck in the fire station up here. It's not a bad suggestion. In the long run, I will. The only thing I would say is, at this point, I have double coverage. It's not like we're not up to our eyeballs in debt. And if you look at this, like the vast majority of all the buildings are double covered here, like as far as the fire company goes. So in some ways, it's like having two trucks. Say like all of these industrial buildings, and those are the ones that are most worried about burning down. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not worried about, these couple buildings out here burning down, but and this might burn, but do you see what I'm saying? Like it's really not that much that doesn't have two fire trucks already. So we're going to take our chances for now. The bigger issue is if we have enough people, as long as we have 6 or 12, and you don't have to have two trucks, but it definitely doesn't hurt when it comes to some of these industrial buildings, and I think we have two trucks. So, and once we get ourselves out of debt this time, I have a feeling that we probably won't go in it again, right? So the decision to go in debt to get all of the manufactured goods going, I think is a reasonable one to make at that point. There we go. Building is put out. All right, so let me pause it for a few more minutes, and then we'll come back when all of these conveyors are done, and hopefully we'll see the first flowing of steel together. All right, see you guys in a minute. I think we're ready to go. I just paused it to start the recording, and then I noticed we only had 3,600. So let me take a look. I already took out another loan again, and let's see, how much did we pay? Well, we paid $92,000. I was in fast forward for a fair amount of time. Back. So what I want to do is borrow another 1.2, and then we'll pay this back, right? So actually, if you look, we did pay back a little bit, right? Because the amount that I'm about to pay is actually a little bit less than what we paid before. So we are getting ever so slightly bit ahead, right? There we go. So, which is good. That's what you want to see. Like if you keep borrowing like this, you just want that money to go down a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll keep borrowing less and less to the point that it's not too annoying. All right, so there we go. So that's taken care of. Now we can play time again. And we should also be able to buy a few buses. Now, I've never done this, but I want to try to use this as a bus drop-off. So if we were to come... I've done it for trains, of course. So I want to be able to, balance the workers between here. Like, let's say, I want a lot less going to this ore processor. If this doesn't work, then I need to get more buses. But I'd like to come and then say, this just needs 2 buses, kind of no matter what. And then I'd like to get 2 buses coming to here, kind of all of the same size, something that we can afford. Let's click on bus. Yeah, so these are all little ones. So I want a kind of fast bus, especially as opposed to these 66 mile per hour. Like I'd rather have one with a few less people that's a little bit faster, like the Chav at 19,000. This guy's pretty darn close, and I think he holds 82, which really isn't too bad. Right? And then this guy would only hold 32. This is the one we've been getting before. Yeah, so it's either between these two. This one uses a little bit less fuel, only holds 55. Let's go with the one that holds, I think that's 82. I can never tell because the guy's arm's blocking it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's 82, not 62. Can we afford this? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so what we want to do is, let's open up all of these. All right, and we'll set them there. So I think that we want to get all of the workers from here as opposed to messing with them here for now. Now, maybe in the future we'll rebalance this out somehow, and the reason for that is eventually we'll build this other house. And so really what I want is 2 of them to get out, load, right? And then get out workers. So I'm going to start this one, and then I'm going to copy that route to this one. Did I get that right? Yeah, so we'll wait for this guy for a little while. So let's put these on the other side. All right, I'll shrink this guy down. And when he's, I don't know, when he's somewhere along his route, we'll try to send the other guy up. We might end up needing 3 on the mine up there, but at least if we get somebody going, right? And then this one, this is going to be a lot quicker trip. So, all right, so this is going to go from here to here. And this is the one I don't know how well it's going to work. But hey, at least we could select it, right? They should get out there, I would think. But I never tried to use a train stop as a bus stop. All right, so we'll start this one. And let's copy that route to that one. All right, so let's keep an eye on this guy and see where he's at. Did he get any workers yet? So I would think, just looking at the distance, this guy has to go... I would think when that guy is returned, when this guy that's driving out is like somewhere in this stretch. Now, when this guy is most of the way there, I want to start this one. So I'm going to let, this guy is just getting there now, right? So I'm going to let that guy get most of the way back here and then start the other one. Then this one I'm going to let get most of the way there and then start this one. Does that make sense? So I might be starting them pretty close at the same time. So there's this guy coming back out. This guy's right here. Right, I'm just trying to get them kind of opposite each other. Right, because I can almost, I'm going to start this one. Now, there you go. All right, so those 2 are started. Hopefully I got that right. Right, get out, get in, get out. Then hopefully they'll split up like I expect them to. Now this guy's, I think, at a pretty good spot to then start this one. All right, so they should be kind of opposite each other for the most part. It's not hypercritical there, right? So we're down to 34,000. But we should start making steel here any minute. Hopefully, I'm kind of excited. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but this is... Making my own steel is just like my biggest goal on any map. I know it's not always logical to drive to this point, but now that I'm here, I just like will take, like, you know, especially as we get all these buildings in this area, but I'm just going to breathe a sigh of relief knowing that I don't have to keep purchasing steel from the outside world for every railroad track and building and everything. So in the next episodes, we're going to get working on all of this stuff, you know, but we won't have to purchase the steel. A big thing. So what should we do next? I would think maybe the cement, just like work in order, right? And then we can get the prefabs and then the bricks. Bricks kind of, to me, are the least important unless you're going to be building a bunch of houses. And then if we do build a house, it's going to be, not a house, but a thing. It's going to be this one that needs a lot of prefabs. Oh, you know what? I did see some plus 21s. So let's head over here real quick. We can do this together. I'm just going to grab them out of here and here. And again, this is why I tend to assign the house and not necessarily the building, though we probably could start assigning the building over there. All right, so let's go here and, all right, that'll get 3 or 30 out of there and then 40 out of this one. All right, then let's take another, so 40 out of both. So that should get rid of all of our plus 21s. And then at some point here, we're going to have to take another look. So that's most of the people coming into here, a few more into here. I think these people can make it to either bus stop, which is good. And then these people can only make it to this bus stop or the buildings right here. They can make it to the shopping. And yeah, the other issue we're going to have over here to some degree is a hospital, but you guys know my attitude about the hospitals not being totally critical. All right, so how are we doing? We have people. We have people. Do we not have people? Okay. Why don't we have people? All right, 13. 13. All right, where are you at? You are... Yeah, that is... Okay. So you're... I don't know which way you're going to get there. Now, what about you? Where are you at? Is that the same one I just did? Oh, I see. So you had to get back to back. This guy doesn't have any fuel, so this one went and filled up with fuel. But it cracks me up that it's almost like the game's designed to put the buses back to back. So it's going to take a little while. Now, let's say the other thing to make sure of, well, it's sort of tough here because what I'm looking for is the travel time. You know, when they go to get fuel, it's sort of, see, this guy's heading up to get fuel. That's probably what this guy did. And unfortunately, like, instead of saying, hey, I'm going to run out of fuel, let me go right here, they get up to here and say, okay, this one's closer. And that's sort of one of the reasons they end up, like, permanently back to back is because, like, if they run out of fuel down here, they'll go to a different space to go get refueled so they don't keep their spacing, right? If they would just always go to, like, I guess you could set them to refuel. Can we? Like, if we were to take this... Nah, see, that's what that wouldn't be a bad way to prevent one of the problems. Would be to say, you know what, I want you to stop by here each time you do a loop and refuel, right? Because that's a big, if you don't have any other traffic issues, that tends to mess you up. Like I said, if they all go to the same fuel place, then they stay on the same fuel timing, but they don't always. All right, well, anyway. Oh, are we making, I see smoke. Hey, smoke. We're making iron ore. Are we making, hey, we're making steel. Is it going into here? I don't really see it increasing. Oh, no, it's not going into there because we didn't build this. All right. Get on it, boys. What's the problem here? Are we... Oh, there it goes. I was going to say, come on, man. Hurry up. Get over there. I want to see it actually come to where we can use it. But there we go. We are making steel. Happy days. And then we'll get this. And like I said, the steel has a 150-ton buffer. This will be able to hold another 217. So for the foreseeable future, I don't see where that's going to be a problem. And then we'll see how we do with, getting workers up here. I'm not worried about this being overly efficient as long as we're making, steel for our buildings. I'm okay with that, right? I'm not going to try to get this up to all the workers and all that stuff. Or, this is just about making the minimum that we need to get construction going. And we'll make some improvements as we, build up our money. Let's get out of debt a little bit. So I want to keep building on these things and, hopefully be paying off this debt slowly but surely as we do that. So hopefully, and then as we knock off each one of these here, we'll really, we'll be ready to go up and maybe head for an oil industry, like I had said earlier, or maybe head over here and build up another different iron industry for making mechanical components. So let me know if you have any suggestions. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Bye.